Tyranny is rising in the White House, and a man has declared himself our king. So I would like to know, rather, the people would like to know what you, congressmen, and your fellow congressmen are going to do to rein in the megalomaniac in the White House.
Yes, long live the king is putting the media in a state that I have not seen before. When you take a look at what Madonna put out, I thought this country was built by European escaping living under the rule of a king to establish a new war governed by the people. Currently, we have a president. In fact, I don't want to read that all. When I saw what she posted, Timpo replied, Trump literally declared I am king of the United States. Wow, how could he say that? Sometimes you would see liberals picking up things like this, forgetting important things to talk about. This is something you can see and just laugh and ignore, but they will not ignore that. They will pick that as a talking point. Sing like a song every single day.
What you, congressmen, and your fellow congressmen are going to do to rein in the megalomaniac in the White House.
I'm not going to give you my best foghorn leghorn response to that. But what I was, you can go ahead and sit down. Thank you. When you talk about tyranny, when you talk about presidential power, I remember having the same discussion with Republicans when Biden was elected. The funny thing is, you're sitting here and a lot of you would probably say those January 6s who are yelling just as loud as you, who are upset just like you, and not listening.
Hey, let's restore some order. Let's restore some order. Hey, let's restore some order.
So
Stop
yelling at me is not going to get any answer, okay?
Hey,
like I said, we're not going to yell.
Point of order. Hey, let's get through this, Congressman. Hey.
Yeah. I've seen Game of Thrones too. Thank you. Let's go ahead and move on because if you're not going to listen, to the answer, we might as well not discuss it, right? Do you want to hear the answer? If you'd stop yelling, I will answer. Otherwise, we'll move on. If you would stop talking for a second, I will answer your question, okay? So if you listen to what we've projected, and this goes both parties, by the way. This is a bipartisan problem. REINS Act, the REINS Act, which reins in executive power for both parties, whoever's in party power, and I think it could be tweaked actually to be much better. I don't think executive privilege should be as strong as it is. I think we're out of balance right now. I think your direct representation, whether you like me or not, I'm the closest thing you have to a representative. Your senator's not going to be as representative as me, and the president's not going to be as representative as me when it comes to you, the people in this district. Likewise, I think state government needs to be more powerful than federal government. It used to be that federal funds only made up 1/3 of the money spent, and states was 2/3. It's more representative of your money and your money spent. That's better. Always push government down to the local level because you'll get better representation. I don't want to see the president make all the decisions. I don't. I didn't want to see. Do you not want to hear that I just said, I answered it directly. I said, I don't want to see any president be too powerful.
Yes, you see how they react. They are not allowing him to speak. It is crazy that they think healing and making this noise will change anything. Trump promised and he delivered. What he said he would do, he's doing just exactly that. I don't get the point why they continue to flip out like, oh, this. Now, because of this pose, Libras are taking it to another level until doing segment upon segment. It is crazy. This is just how to trigger these people. If you want to throw them, just put out things like this to see their reactions. They will melt down. I was shocked when I watched The View the other day. Sonia Austin claimed Trump has never wanted to be president but want to be a king. What are these women on The View smoking?
What is the sense you're getting from voters that you're talking to? I think it's really important to sort of take the pulse across America on how this is being felt.
Yeah, and of course, voters are divided a lot of times along party lines, where you see voters who are supportive of President Trump and very MAGA voters who are saying, give him time, let's root out the fraud, let's root out the waste, let's give it some time to play out. But you've seen a lot of other voters, particularly Democrats, but also some voters, as was mentioned, that are Trump supporters, saying they're concerned, again, not just about the layoffs, but about the funding freezes. They're also worried about proposals on the table to perhaps cut some of the safety net programs that a lot of voters of all political stripes rely on. We're talking about Medicaid, food stamps. Even people like Rich McCormick have said perhaps we need to find ways to save money at Social Security. And of course, there are many older Americans concerned that those cuts could come to Medicare. So these programs we know are popular among people, period, no matter who they voted for president. And also, let's talk about like veterans. There have been layoffs at the Department of Veterans Affairs. Again, we know our veterans are of all political stripes, for example. So I think there are a lot of Americans who just, at this juncture, are, if not upset, confused. At this point, wish there was more transparency, wish there was more information, wish there was messaging coming from the White House that shows there's a method to the madness. And without that information, there is a lot of concern we're hearing from voters. And again, that is starting to kind of cross party lines.
Renee,
So Trump has been in power for just a month, and he already gave himself a promotion. Doesn't it feel like 10 years?
Yes.
He posted "Long Live the King" on social media, and the White House mocked up a Face magazine cover with him wearing a crown. See that? Yeah, he's the Lion King.
I have something to say about this "Long Live the King." It's very interesting. Political commentator and journalist Ezra Klein, I talked about him last week. He wrote in the New York Times, he's excellent, "Don't believe Trump."
Yeah.
And what he said is that Trump has never really wanted to be president. He actually has always wanted to be king. And he also says that his plan this time is to first play king on television. And if we believe he is already king, we will be likelier to let him govern as a king. So don't believe him, because right now what we're seeing is he's waving his scepter, his king scepter. Yeah. Congestion pricing is gone.
Right.
He's waving his scepter.
Although I'm pro-congestion pricing being gone.
Yes, there is something wrong with these people. When Trump came in during his first term, what I saw everywhere on social media was like, oh, Trump inherited Obama's economy. Reason things are like this, everything is booming. Okay, Trump has been in office just for 1 month. Talks like that are not surfacing. I want to hear them say, oh, Trump inherited Biden's economy. That's what I want to see. They can't say that, right? Because they understand what Biden did, the mess he kept. Trump coming in to clean everything, what he has done within the space of 1 month, these people are not keeping that up. They are not talking about that. That is to tell you one thing. When I see the politics playing out with Libras, I'm glad that a lot of people don't fall into this. They understand. This is what they voted Trump for, and he's doing exactly that. Better we should be able to face some difficulties within a short period of time, but all these ways should be cut off. Thank you guys for always been sharing out my videos. If you notice, I always put clips at the end of my videos. That is for the algorithm. I understand people usually complain, but please He helps the channel.
So companies would hide under this idea.
Mainstream media cannot ever say that anything this administration is doing is positive. So even if they find unbelievable corruption,
was digging through essentially the way that money is audited within the government, links to payments, outgoing payments, budget line items. So this payment goes out. What is it for?
What I've learned from this is that if you are not guilty of anything, you will not panic.
Thug, who is the president of the United States, U.S., it's everywhere.
There is a lot of waste, fraud, and abuse within a system.
Audits.
A chance to see what happens when you take a business approach to the government.
Also, I got to say, don't you agree? I totally agree.
Essential.
Early on, immediately.
She's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10.
To her.
No.
The EU does not treat the U.S. fairly on trade and that he has some big complaints. Is that true?
Right? And it doesn't mean that we should sit and pretend that it's suddenly okay, that this new presidency is just going to keep on keeping on. That is not the case. And
awful things have happened. And sparks move things. And it doesn't matter how much water you have.
Future president and his dad are
Somebody in policy.
The city of the Pacific Palisades is burning. And, I flew here last night. I was on a plane.
You getting water to areas that need...
He's been trained his whole life to do.
What do we do?
right now you're looking...
Remember it.
And then I think all our tax dollars probably went for Gavin's hair gel. I don't know.
Jordan.
Josh Green, the governor. Watch news or talk.
Now look, I have a lot of...
The Democratic Party has about everything.
The next department that appears to be on the chopping block is the Department of Education. Just earlier today...
Thank you. Hey, now speaking of church, can I...
In common, they're all terrified of Ronan Farrow.
Is probably one of the most unintelligent billionaires.
They're on Team Chiefs. Literally right next to us was Taylor Swift. Those are boo.
So Trump has been in power for just a month.
I do not care that Elon Musk is unconventional.
And you people still don't get it.
Listen,
And he deserves the credit for it.
So, James,